Hi friends, I'm back to do a tutorial about how to make these lace-covered coin envelopes. I'll just give you a little closer look at them. This one has a little fabric teacup, and I've made this little tea bag tag to stick in there. This one is just got a little image on the front that I fussy cut out of a book. You don't have to add anything. I mean, they're beautiful just being lacy, but we'll see what we can do, something a little different. Anyway, I've got some envelopes, and these are on the larger side, so they are 3.5 by 6 1/4, 6 1/8. And I literally have hundreds of these. So if you're looking for a source for them, hit me up. You'll need some flat lace. I've got a couple of examples here. So this one, I just bought this at the thrift store yesterday, actually. And here's the one I used in the two examples there. So besides envelopes, you need a glue stick and you need some ink. You need scissors, but I'm going to use my my rotary cutter and this will do. Okay, so. Oh, I'm going to try this too. I got these long envelopes. They are 5 by 11.5. So I got these at a liquidation store. So it was a package of 6 for 79 cents. So I'm just going to check the price underneath. So they were originally 99 at the surplus store, and then the surplus store marked them down to 79. Anyway, so what I was thinking about these were, they could be folded in half. This end would need to be cut off. Didn't think that went through. Whoops. And that doesn't look very straight. Let's try it again. Where's my... I know you guys are all using paper trimmers, but I'm terrible at paper trimmers. I'm going to cut off the other side too. Keep them both open. Now, I will need to so this would go in a signature like that. I could probably put lace on both sides. That's a thought. But I don't think I will. I think I'm just going to put lace on this side. Okay. So, is this wide enough for this envelope? Not quite. Is this wide enough for these envelopes? Most definitely. Alright. So, first thing I'm going to do is find the right and the wrong side. that's the wrong side. Let me check that again. Yeah, that's the wrong side. So I'm going to use my glue stick just to put a layer of glue over everything. And might as well do a couple, right? If you're going to have one, you might as well have two. Or more. Do one white and one craft. So you can see the difference in the color. Okay, so we'll let that dry. I'm going to cut this off so we're not muck it about too much. Okay. Now, for this one, okay, that's the wrong side. Just for a change of pace, I'm going to glue I'm going to glue the side that has the seam on it. Just making sure. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Now I could have placed that right in the center so it was equal, you know, what's the word? Symmetrical. But I didn't. Let's give this a trim so I don't have all this extra floating around. So a lot of you have asked me to do a live thrift haul, and it's funny because I did do one. Yes, I did tape one yesterday, and then last night, Erin, hi Erin, Erin posted on my comments, when are you going to do a live one? Okay, she wasn't like that. She asked me very nicely. And I thought, Erin, I've already done it. But there's, I think, 14 pieces of video that all need to be edited and put together. The problem with this setup for my desk view here is that I'm blind as a bat, so you're always going to catch me sticking my head underneath the camera so I can get a close-up. Oops. So watch for that if you enjoy thrift hauls. I had a really good day yesterday. I had the day to myself, and there is this bakery sort of north of Stratford in a little teeny town called Milverton. And Milverton is It has this bakery there. I feel like I've told you this story though. If I've told you this story, it's early dementia, I swear. Anyway, the bread is so good that I would drive all the way to Milverton to get this bread. So yesterday, and they sell it at the bakery and in the grocery store across the street. So I went to the grocery store first, and I remembered Friday is the multi-grain bake day, and it was Thursday, and today is Good Friday, and they wouldn't be open, and I thought, oh no, I've come all this way, I'm not going to get my multi-grain bread. They had no multi-grain bread in the grocery store. They just had 100% whole wheat, and it was like the bags were steamy. It was still hot. And so I got the 100% whole wheat, and I thought, oh, the bakery is open, because it usually closes around 1, but it was open. And you know, maybe I'm just thinking about Saturdays. They close at 1. Maybe they don't close so early during the week. And they had multi-grain bread. So I have 3 very fresh loaves of bread upstairs. I'm going to have to call my son and ask him if he wants one, because we won't eat all that bread, which is a shame, because it's super good. Now these bits and pieces that you're cutting off, save them, because we're going to use them to do this edge on the flap, where the flap is, because we can't sew there, because we'd sew the envelope closed. So that, I got a little trick to show you how to fix that. Okay, everybody is sewn, or sorry, glued. That turned out cute, didn't it? This one looks like it needs a little more glue stick. Okay, I'll let that one dry a bit. Okay, now in order to decorate this edge, I'm going to use this one. So what you need to do is get an old book page. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. You need an old book page, and I'll show you why. And this is going to need 2 ends. Is that enough? No. Perfect. Okay. Here's an old book. Let's get an old page out of it. You want an old book page that's like really, really crumbly. One that if you fold, it's going to snap. You know what I'm talking about here. Okay. So you can either eyeball this or draw a line. First one I'm going to eyeball. So take your glue stick and just use the edge of it to do a fine bead. Like, what is that? 1/8 of an inch of straight glue. Okay. And then stick your lace on it. I'm going to draw a line for this one. Just draw your line there of glue, and now you have that pencil line to sort of match it up. So I'm going to put the top petals of the rose against that line. Okay. So now we're going to do a little bit of stitching. I will rearrange the camera so that you can see what I'm doing, okay? You're not going to sew in the glue. You're just going to use the glue to stabilize the lace, because if you tried to sew through the lace, it would be a mess. You'd never get a straight line, and you'd cry and throw it all in the garbage, right? What would this look like? Did I cut that? I'm going to sew it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, like that. I'll have to use something else. Okay, be prepared to do some shifting here. So I'm going to take this. Got to turn this on. I'm just going to do a straight stitch, and I'm probably going to follow the side of my foot here. Can you see that? Okay, now the next one I'm going to follow. Oh, I think I'll follow the script, the edge of the text. Now, if you're wondering why it's going so slow, I do have a speed switch on my machine, so I can go really slow and really fast. So that's why it's going so slow. I just thought it might be easier to watch if it was going really slow. Okay, the next piece, I don't want to adjust my camera. So what you're going to do is you can peel the lace away from the glue now. Okay, so you're going to fold along that stitch line, and then just tear it off. Okay. Now you can use your scissors, or you can use a rotary cutter. I'm just going to use my scissors to cut, about 1/8 of an inch along this line, away from that line of stitching. Okay. Now, I will figure out where I want this. That's fine. And then just gently tear off this other piece. Don't mess with your stitches. You want to have a clean line of stitching there. Okay, now with your fiber tack, just run a bead across the top. Now your needle isn't going to get in there, so don't worry about it. Okay. And then with the best looking side up, attach that to the top. So now it looks like you've stitched through that. Okay. Now we're going to actually stitch. I'm going to speed this up a smidgeroony, and I'm just going to my glue got in my way. I'll slow down here. Put my needle down too. I'm going to slow down here to do this curve. Just lift the foot a little. Now you might need a stiletto. I just use the tips of my scissors to hold that edge down. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to bang you. Okay. So I'm going to do that with all of the envelopes, and I will come back and show you the next steps. Okay, everything is glued and sewn. We can move on to the next part. So these ones were already trimmed. This one needs to be trimmed. So you're probably asking, why did you glue the lace to the envelope in the first place? It's going to be stitched down. What a waste of time. Well, because lace is very flexible and it shifts, so by the time you got around all four sides, by the time you got around all four sides, you would have lumps and bumps, and it would not lay flat, that's for sure. And I could use scissors for this job, but like I said, I'm just so used to using my rotary cutter for everything. Okay, so you can imagine this one in the signature of an album. I'm going to add some little thumb holes first. Need a circle punch. Now, Diane showed us the other night, might have been day for her, but it was night when I watched it, that she likes the offset thumb holes. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I believe that was from another journal artist. I think it was the one in Russia that she bought a album from. Can't remember. I haven't had a chance to go and look at that that person's channel yet, but I'll try to get around to it, that's for sure. That journal was gorgeous, Diane. So look at me, not even measuring. Usually I would have measured, found the center, had 4 fits. Yikes. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little bit of inking. Inky thing. Okay. I won't bore you too much with this piece. I just want to show you the difference it makes when you ink. Maybe I should do the white one to show you the difference. Guess I didn't trim that one, huh? Okay. So that for sure gives it more definition. I'm wondering if this would look really cute with pink ink. That would really make it shabby chic, wouldn't it? I'll do the back side. And I'll need to tuck a little piece of paper in there so I don't get... Gosh, I've got nothing but paper around me, but do you think I can find what I want? Here. I think my husband's up. I hear noises upstairs. Okay, so there's an envelope. I'll finish inking these up and then we'll come back and talk about how to embellish these. Okay, so I have, just moving some junk around here. I have used a stencil. This is a Tim Holtz. I don't know if it has a name. Floral layering stencil. I got that at a local scrapbooking store. And I'm going to make the cards now, the journaling cards. So I just took a piece of scrapbook paper and layered it to some coffee dyed ledger, cut it to size, and then rounded the corners with my 1/4 inch corner chopper. Okay. Next, I want to make, I'm going to sew this first, and then I will show you how I'm going to make the pull tab. Okay, so I'll turn off the camera for the sewing bit. Okay, so I've got the card stitched. Just did a messy row of stitching twice around. Should have inked it while I had the camera off, but let's do it now. Ink. Nice. Got lost in my own world there for a bit. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I've got just this little piece of scrap of lace here, and I'm going to cut this bit off. And when this is in here, it'll fall more or less there. So I'm going to cut a couple little squares of the lace. You're just gonna, kind of lay them here off kilter. I have this piece of fabric. This came from a doll's dress that I got at the thrift I think it was last week, week before. And so I've just torn a strip, and I'm going to use this as a tab. Probably there. And I know I've shown you a dozen times, but in order to get the raggedy edge on all of the sides, just press it against the blade of your scissors and pull down, and that gives it a nice raggedy edge. Doesn't look like it's been cut. Okay, now this piece, you can use a piece of net or a piece of lace. It's not going to show. This is just to support the fabric so it's not so floppy. So cut it more or less the same length. You're going to need some of these bulldog clips while you're at it, okay? I'm going to cut this just a little narrower so I can be sure it doesn't show. I mean, it doesn't matter if it shows, I guess, but that's not what I was going for. Okay, just putting a little bit of glue here on the end, and then match one corner there, one corner on the other side, and see how there's the gap there? Press it down so that you have a little pucker, and then stick a bulldog clip on it. Not happy with the way my pucker turned out. Need more pucker. Oh, see, it came away from that side. Let's give this a little more glue. Okay. Now, press my pucker. This just gives it a little bit of texture so it's not so flat looking. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this end. And see how it's about 1/8 of an inch shorter. That's fine. It can be the same length, it can be the same width, it can be a little shorter, a little narrower, whatever. Again, I'm going to put one corner here and one corner there. Just hold that for a minute. My thumbs are getting kind of sticky. And then it's kind of fidgety, but it's worth it. Okay. Now, I want to stick this on here, but I want to put a button on it. So I prefer sort of a flat shell button. Let's see if I've got something like that. Ugh, it's too thick. There, that one's flatter. I think that's an oldie. It's even kind of sheared off there. That's okay. We're going for shabby. Okay, so I have a needle and a piece of, I guess it's linen thread. Now I'm going through several layers. So I'll just use my, I think that's a bead reamer. The weight of the clip is spinning me around. I am going to do another stitch, but I just want to knot that to keep it from flipping around on me. Okay. Difficulty finding. Oh, it's got to be here somewhere. There it is. The reason I'm doing this is so that the fabric will cover the stitches on the back. I mean, if you want the stitches to show, that's fine. You can stitch all through all the layers. But I do not. And now I'm just going to put a little bit of a fabric tack there. Whoop! You all right? And just cover that. And put your bottle dog clip on it. I'm going to use a bigger one for the time being. If I can hang on to it. Okay. So the idea of this lace is it holds that out, that tab out like a crinoline. So just put that aside to dry. And through the magic of video, I already have one done. And look, it's nice and poofy. I'm just really pleased with how that turned out. I would have liked it better if the button was a little more centered, but maybe I'm putting it in the wrong hole. Ha! Yes, I was. I was putting it in the wrong hole. So that's better. Now with these being off center, the buttons aren't attaching or smacking against each other, so it takes up less room. There's less bulk. Shoot, look what I did. Put the button on the wrong side. Well, back to the drawing board, as they say. I hope you loved that as much as I did. Alrighty, I will talk to you again soon. Take care.